You ready for the rush?" The voice of Keahi's grandfather, Mano, made Saffron jump. Mano was missing his grandson too, and he and Saffron spent a lot of time together these days. Each of them understood, without saying, the hole left in the other's life. Saffron didn't blame Keahi. He was a trained surgeon, a gifted physician by all accounts. He had fled his work at a top hospital in Boston after losing a young patient, but the hospital had long wanted him to come back, and just a few months ago, he had decided that he needed to. Saffron had tried in the ensuing weeks to let him go, not just to Boston, but to let him go from her heart, from her life. But Keahi was a rare mix of humor and compassion, of strength and gentleness. His presence made any situation better, and their connection made him impossible to forget. Instead of sending him off with a smile, as she'd wanted to, she'd ended up sobbing into his shoulder at the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. When she'd pulled back, tears were running down his warm cheeks. Keahi's skin was exactly the color of the sand just at the edge of the wide Hawaiian beaches, where the retreating surf left curves of tawny topaz next to the brighter gold of the dry sand. She'd kissed him then, tasting salt, and let him go. She and Mano had ridden back to the little town of Maikai with a melancholy cloud hanging above them. It had taken 2 weeks and a lot of distraction to lift it. Now, though, Saffron's loneliness for Keahi was a background melody in the bustle of the day. She had an event to pull off. Her new business, Bright Blossom Events, was coordinating an annual benefit for the Friends of Hens, a nonprofit organization. Saffron's personal event planner's code was, "Be excellent, be invisible." Because she had planned this event at such a spectacular location, Saffron was sure she had achieved the first goal of the code, be excellent. The benefit was to be held on the coronation lawn at Iolani Palace. Saffron had planned for them a beautiful celebration in gold and black, 2 of the colors on their logo, which featured a pair of chickens like she'd seen all over the island. Wild chickens were a feature of Hawaii. Though Saffron's 120 hens and her single rooster lived in the spacious egg house with wide indoor and outdoor runs, automatic water, roosts, and nest boxes, there were as many as 20,000 chickens that roamed the island free and feral. Friends of Hens worked tirelessly to help control those numbers in a humane way by catching chickens and shipping them to their rescue farm on the mainland. They were a well-respected organization, and sympathetic donors attended the benefit in droves. During her first meeting with Friends of Hens, Saffron had revealed that she owned a chicken farm, and the passionate staff had insisted coming up from Hawaii for a tour. Once there, they found that Saffron's uncle, Bo, had assembled a varied and beautiful flock of all different colors and shapes. It was then, in the heat of their delight, that Saffron had agreed to showcase some of her birds at the event. "The guests can see then what real cared-for chickens look like." The director of the organization, fittingly named Bertie Bromley, had clapped her hands with delight. She was a small woman, middle-aged with enormous round glasses and a way of cocking her head to the side that made her look very much like her namesakes. Saffron had tried to explain that her chickens were free-range birds that spent their days wandering in and out of the egg house, scratching and roosting and slurping up centipedes in the tall grass of their outdoor runs. Recently, several of her commercial egg customers, the Oceanside Cafe and the Paradise Market, for example, had been sending produce clippings and unsold fruits and vegetables out to the hens, and they'd been scratching and pecking at tomatoes and peas and lettuce, standing atop big mounds of produce. They were not, she emphasized, showbirds with proper manners for such an event. But Bertie insisted that the event could not go on without them. "People see so many feral chickens," Bertie had pleaded, "and they think that all chickens are scrawny and unwanted, but these girls," she waved her hand down at the row of pens, "could give them another view of chickens. They could be ambassadors for their species." She had personally selected 5 of Saffron's most beautiful birds, and Saffron had gotten the distinct feeling that if she refused, Bertie would find herself another event planner. Mano was here to help her catch them, get them ready for